You're still watching Prime Morning, and it's time for us to delve into what the newspapers have for us. My name is Roselyn Felli. My guests are seated and poised for the conversation. On my far left is Opinion Kwame Jantwa, who is representing the NPP.
Well done, Roselyn.
I nearly gave you a different party.
Well done, Roselyn. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine.
It's good to have you here.
Good to be here.
Right. We were talking about the street lights earlier, and I don't know what can be done about it. Before we even delve into the street light conversation, Mettle Nunoo Jr. is here representing the NDC. Good morning.
Good morning, Roselyn.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. God has kept us, and He'll keep keeping us.
It's only God that can survive, make us survive.
I must say, you're looking beautiful.
Thank you so much, Opinion. Thank you. Now, we were talking about the street lights earlier, and actually we are appealing because for now, that's what we can do. It's actually not for us to appeal for it because we pay for street lights. If you go do your, roadworthy and all of that, it's all part of the taxes that you pay. And so we are wondering why we still have a blackout on our streets all the time. I mean, when you use the route on motorway, there's no street light on motorway, on the N1, no street lights, on the Achimota-Tesano Road, no street lights. And so you ask yourself, where is the money going to? Please, government, we are pleading on you. We need our street lights. We really do need it because if you have to use the road at night or at dawn, then it means that you have to pray from the onset. So you get to your destination. So it's either you're praying in tongues or you're praying, if you don't pray in tongues, you have to just speak the word. And you keep praying or, play some gospel tunes till you arrive at your destination. Because it's no joke. Your life is at risk. You can tell that, hey, the slightest mistake, I'm gone. Please, we need our street lights. We are begging you. We need it. Provide it. We pay for it. Provide it. Thank you very much. We'll keep talking about it until you do something about it. Anyway.
But Roselyn, we pay for it in our electricity bills.
Well, exactly.
And
I think even fuel. There's some tax on this.
Not in fuel, but I know electricity bills, we pay for street lighting.
It's crazy.
And then, unfortunately, you get, what is it called? Is it Pragya?
Yeah.
The ones that collect.
Aboboya.
Yeah. You follow them. There's no back. They don't have any lights on their Aboboya. They are slow. And then to add insult to injury, you go through potholes you don't see at night. And then people wear black to walk the streets, to cross the road. So if I knock you, I didn't see you. Who make them? Me or you? I don't understand it. But if a government can't take out street lights, how can they take out the economy? How? Common street lights.
Common street lights.
The whole of motorway, from start to end, nothing.
Yes, nothing. Tesano stretch to Achimota, nothing.
I said
from Peshi on the Teshi Beach Road, from the Peshi to Teshi Nungwa, nothing.
No street lights.
And go to Equatorial Guinea. Gee, at night, it's like daytime.
Wow.
They've used their oil money everywhere, street lights.
Wow.
At night. By 6 o'clock, the lights are on. Ghana. Are we not bigger than Equatorial Guinea? Do you not have oil? Do you not have natural resources? Why? Why, Mr. President? Why?
Why? That's the question. Why?
What is it? Are they creaming the money? Is the money going somewhere else? I don't understand. It doesn't make sense.
Because it's not like we are
in the morning,
paying.
You have children going to school.
Exactly.
Children going to school. Okay.
See, most of the road accidents that happen in Ghana are avoidable. Yeah, most of them are avoidable. Because you cannot even trust the roads in Ghana. Sometimes you see a road that is asphalted and you think it's going to be smooth throughout, and then maybe you increase your speed a little. All of a sudden, you fall into a manhole, not even a porthole that you can survive. It happened to me once on the Spintex Road.
Wow.
Before you get to Papaya. And then my tire
That side is really bad.
My tire just burst. So I had to park and it was late. It was around 1 a.m.
Wow.
And now driving around that time, if there are no cars on the road, you can't really be driving slow because also security issues come in. And around that time, I wasn't getting anybody. I had to call my brothers at home for them to come and pick me from where I was. I was not even getting any online, Uber, Bolt, or anything. So looking at the nature of rampant road accidents, most of them are avoidable. See the Ebony's case. It was
no street light and pothole.
They were dodging.
Yeah.
Yes, a pothole on the road, and it's become one too many. And I don't know. There's a Ministry of Roads and Highways. There's Roads and Highways. Is it what?
Road safety.
Road safety. That they are paying them with taxpayers' money, and they don't take care of these things. Everybody does not care. But if it's something that has to do with revenue collection, immediately you're going to see them there. And the cars on the road, we all pay for roadworthy.
You see, apart from street lights, road signs, road line marking. If there was even road line marking on the road, at least when your lights hit it, you find direction.
Yeah.
Nothing. And then to make matters worse, all these big trucks that break down in the middle of the road at night.
And guess what? They actually break down on the fast lane. And you wonder how a truck is breaking down on the fast lane.
Shouldn't go.
Even if they are moving, most of them, their tail lights are not working. So before they are moving slow.
And they don't indicate if they want to turn left or want to turn right.
So before you realize, you run into them.
Because they feel they are big, so they can push you off the road.
If you don't stop, you are going to run into them.
Do you have street lights in your area? Please, let's hear your voice this morning. Sending your messages to us. We really, really want to hear from you. If you have street lights, maybe we are the ones who are complaining.
You know the nonsense. You know the nonsense. We have given motorcades to ministers.
Yeah.
They drive with motor in front, so they don't feel what the people are feeling.
No.
And who put them there? Isn't it us?
That's so true.
Let's keep quiet.
Anyway, one of our biggest conversation happens to be teachers' unions that have gone on a strike, and they are actually saying that they wrote to the Ministry of Education and GES so they can come to an agreement with regards to their terms of their conditions of service. So with regards to the terms of condition of service. However, as of the deadline was supposed to be on 29th February 2024, but as of now, nothing has been said. Hence, they had to embark on this particular strike, which was supposed to start from yesterday. We don't know if they are back into the classrooms because we know that yesterday, as of probably like 2 p.m., there were some negotiations going on. So we are hoping to hear something good. But the newspapers are reporting it. And of course, we are going to delve into that conversation. Then we delve into the anti-LGBTQ plus bill, which we know that the Office of the President wrote to Parliament to not mount pressure on the President. Now, yesterday, we know the main man at the at the Parliament, that is Honorable Alban Bagbin, said that he's also not going to append his signature on the deputy ministers that had been nominated. Reason being that one man had also taken the issue to court. And so until it's done and dusted, he will not append his signature. And he cited an example of what the president has done, saying that the president has not assented his signature on the bill because his case is in court. And so if this is in court, two can play that game. Well, we'll talk about that as well. But let me quickly read what the newspapers have, and then we can delve into our conversations. Daily Graphic newspaper. $45 million pharmaceutical products locked up at ports. Wow. Teacher union strike over conditions of service. Ghana tops all at WAEC Excellence Awards. And the banner headline, ex gratia unfair and unjust. Scrap Article 71 and participants says so. The New Finder newspaper is the next newspaper. The New Finder. GNCCI embraces Baumia's policies, suggests additional measures for consideration. Safe Water pushes for adoption of innovative water solutions. Teachers declare nationwide strike. Ekufuado to launch Ghana Smart Schools project. And that'll be all for the New Finder newspaper. I'll quickly do the ABC newspaper as well. Individuals, businesses to have tax amnesty in 2025, Dr. Baumia reaffirms. Really? We will? Yeah, but we will. I'm just wondering, can we ever have a tax waiver for Ghanaians? Because the taxes we paid here. Anyway, we are even paying for a emission tax. Chances for parties in 2024 from stronghold perspectives. Governor Addison sees off IMF MD after a fruitful 2-day visit to Ghana. Fantasy Dome was stealing electricity at the trade fair site, says ECG. Oh, wow. Anyway, the Daily Guide newspaper, which is the final newspaper, elections 2024, all 75,000 biometric devices intact, says the EC. Obwo are charged most innovative CEO. Professor Bene Kela jailed 30 years. Chamber of Commerce endorses Baumia's private sector growth policy. And Bagbe's showdown. Parliament won't approve ministers. And this is one of our topics for today. Some entertainment stories here. Ghana movie industry not dead. Solomon Fixon always says so. Nollywood producer and the best passes on. Yeah, I heard about it yesterday. May his soul rest in peace. And some sports here. Satellites target African Games face Uganda tomorrow. Kudus pulls out of Ghana's squad. It's just for now. If Ghanaians see this one, hide it. If Ghanaians see it, don't be angry. Hide it. Therapy saved my life. And this is coming from Tottenham forward. And also, Alves granted €1 million bail after sexual assault. Danny Alves is really going through a lot, I must say. Building your life and all of a sudden, it's not easy. But you guys should be careful out there. Anyway, that's all that we have with regards to what the newspapers are reporting. And so we'll quickly delve into our topic for today. I think the first one we should delve into should be the teachers' union that have embarked on a strike. And it actually happened yesterday. I want to actually, let me read a few messages and then I come because I've promised my viewers that today, we are going to be reading all your messages. So let me see if I have a message and then I'll quickly read it and then we go into our topic for today. So if it's ready, I'll just pick it and I'll read it. But let me give a brief on what actually is happening. So 3 teacher unions have declared a nationwide strike effective Wednesday, March 20th. And the reasons that they cited was that the new collective agreement stands unnegotiated. And we raised this concern in our letter to the Director General of GES dated February 29th, 2024, and also informed the National Labour Commission. As we gather here now, the issue is still outstanding. And they also say that, they have drawn the attention of the Director General to the fact that the Ghana Education Service does not have a functional scheme of service for teachers. So this is the reason why, and there's actually a letter that they wrote. So this is the main reason why they are actually embarking on this particular strike. And so until they reach a consensus where they feel that they are okay, they will not go back to the classroom. Openyi Kwame Jantwa. Okay, let me read this comment. I was going to go here. Okay, so good morning to you. The appointment of new ministers under President Nana Akufo-Addo has the potential to serve a very good purpose by bringing in fresh perspectives and talent to address the challenges facing Ghana. However, there are also concerns about the impacts of these changes on the economy, with both positive and negative implications to consider. The new ministers need to work together with their teams, stakeholders, and the public to ensure that their appointments lead to positive outcomes for the country. Aaron Bebako Kokomisa. Okay, so let me see. Okay. Good morning, Roselyn. I'm very happy for our parliament. Our parliament has done a great job. All thanks to the speaker. We are much grateful, Master Raman Tuna. All right. Okay, so it looks like people are actually very happy with the decision that parliament, it's not parliament, it's actually, it's not parliament, but actually the speaker of parliament, Honorable Agyekum, is the one who is saying that until he's seeing that changes are happening within the anti-LGBTQ plus bill. He's also not going to append his signature on it. Well, I don't know. Should we start with that one or we should go into the teachers? Since the conversation is beginning, I think we should start with we should start with this one, right?
If we start with that one, we won't go into any other. So let's get the teachers out of the way.
Okay, so let's talk about the teachers. This consensus that they want to reach. It looks like every year we face the same challenges with the teachers. Teachers embark on strike every year. What is it that they want that they are not getting? And why is GES not giving these teacher unions what they want so that we can have some peace and have them in the classrooms for the children to benefit from all the fees that they pay? Opening.
Good morning to our viewers, and good morning to fellow panelists and to yourself. It boils down to Sikakorea, isn't it? And conditions of service. I haven't seen I'm not sure whether you've got the document, the collective bargaining document that they sent to
GES?
GES.
I have a document here.
What does it say?
So, Declaration of Industrial Action.
It's the industrial action, but the actual...
No, the actual document,
exactly.
no.
So if for anything at all, if we can get that actual document, then we know what the details are in there. But as you rightly said, every year there's this wahala.
Yeah.
Why? What is it that we cannot get the teachers to make sure that their conditions of service, their pay and everything is set? Is there a challenge? And if there's a challenge, what is the challenge? Shouldn't the minister tell us something? But anyway, we've mortgaged some of the things, haven't we? We've mortgaged what is the fund? The fund, educational fund.
Education fund.
Yes, we mortgaged it. So it all boils down to being able to sit and negotiate. Really and truly, this shouldn't be out in the papers all the time. Every year. Last year, November, they were talking about this. Last year, January, they were talking about it. And it looks as if government is not interested in doing anything. And if there's a problem, government should tell us. Guys, we don't have the wherewithal to, heed to the demands you're asking for, but we'll be able to do X, Y, Z. Let's talk. But it doesn't look as if they're interested. And if they go on strike, who suffers?
The students, the children.
Children. So please, authorities, let's do something about it. Let's really do something about it. Because the teacher unions feel that they are not being heard. If you read the letter, they're not being heard. Nobody is interested in talking to them. Government is interested in talking to them. So where do they go? Go for strike. It doesn't help them themselves. Because if the fair wages also come and say, okay, you've gone on strike, so we're not going to pay you. That's not. So please, let's try as much as possible to sort this challenge out so that at least the teachers get what they want. And even if you cannot give them all, give them some. That would also...
Is it not the same sum that keeps us taking us where we are?
Some no cry and can't. We don't even discuss the sum, let alone to discuss the entire thing. Let's start seeing some discussions. I would like a situation where there are cameras in the room when they are negotiating, so that the people can see which sides are at fault or the kind of conclusions they come to, what they tell us. Because in the end, it's our children who suffer in the class if they are not there. Let's try as much as possible to sort this out once and for all. It's one too many.
It's too many.
Yeah, it's one too many.
Let me welcome the repping NPP this morning, Dr. Ezekiel Agyekum. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm very well.
You're sitting between two lawyers.
Oh, wow.
A medical doctor in between two lawyers.
I'll get the legal impartation.
If we get a heart attack here.
I hope you're doing well, though.
I'm doing very great. Sorry for the small hitches getting here quite late.
That's okay. You're hardly late.
I always come before Mettle, so.
That's it. That's what I said. You're hardly late, so you're
road, where did you come from?
Tantra Hill.
Tantra Hill. Was there street lights on the road?
There's street lights.
Where?
Right from Achimota.
To where?
To Agotie. This very junction.
Yeah.
Please, because you're MP. Because I use that same stretch. I use that same stretch.
You came through...
I came through.
And those street lights.
I use that same stretch.
By the time I got Tesano, God has given his own lights, so we didn't need the street lights at the point I got Tesano.
You see, this is the problem.
This
is the problem.
And the traffic lights...
This is the problem. They can't speak to power. Their own people can't speak to power.
That's what I saw, Roselyn.
I used the same stretch. I didn't see that.
Oh, okay. By the time I got to Sesano, bright daylight.
Roselyn.
So we didn't need
Roselyn.
the street light.
Dr. Ezekiel, in the past, was a very good man, trustworthy.
But he's a good man. Why is he
was a very good and trustworthy man. But I think that of late, I don't know what's happened to him. Simple question. And you don't know that the host used that same route.
No one.
Now when you're questioning further, you are saying that God had given you
daylight.
God had given you daylight. I don't know what's happening to all the fine gentlemen in the NPP of late.
No one invited you.
Hey,
what's happening?
it shall be well. It shall be well. Anyway, let me come to you, Mettle. We are discussing the teachers, the 3 teacher unions who are on strike, actually. And it looks like one too many. Year on, we hear them going on strike, but they never get to an agreement. And so we just want to know, what can government do so we can prevent these things from happening? Because it's the students who struggle or who actually get affected when the teachers go on a strike. So I was on Mettle Nunoo.
Yeah, Roselyn, thank you very much. Very good morning to yourself and our Church US. And good morning to the incoming President of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Just what happened in this studio today, this morning, is a clear indication of what is going to happen on the 7th of December when the elections are held. You know, the NDC was in early, the NPP came in late.
But CPP was earlier.
CPP was earlier. I'm talking about the NDC and the NPP. I know CPP, they are playing wings for us. So you cross the ball to the NDC because the NPP wasn't anywhere found to be found in the box. So that's the same thing that's going to happen. So I welcome you.
Thank you.
Continue to be late like that.
Yeah, you're always
so talking on the teacher training, teachers strike. You see, Roselyn, there are institutions set up in Ghana. We have the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. Many a times when issues of strike pop up, we tend to blame the central government. So the main job of Fair Wages and Salaries Commission is to ensure that salaries of workers are fair and they are equal, and some of these concerns, they would address them. I'm not sure, reading from the news on your portal, I'm not sure that's the first time the teachers have raised this issue and threatened to go on strike. But I think that because they've not gotten any response from government, any of the government institutions that are responsible, and Fair Wages can also give a green light when they are not getting a green light that they are going to address their concerns and give them what they want. If they've not also gotten a green light from the Ministry of Finance as well. So you see, I have a letter here which is dated on the 19th of March.
Okay.
And from Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. Invitation to a meeting. Fair Wages and Salaries Commission respectfully invites the leadership of the Ghana National Association of Teachers and the listed stakeholders to a meeting as per details below. The date is today, 21st March 2024, time 10 a.m. Venue is the Ministry of Education Conference Room, agenda negotiations. So you could see that and the teachers, their date was on Tuesday, that they declared that they were going to go on strike. A Fair Wages letter has now come out that they are calling them for a meeting. Sometimes we shouldn't...
Yeah, that was yesterday, Wednesday.
Yes, yesterday. Yeah. So their meeting is supposed to be held today, this morning at 10 a.m. The meeting has not even been held. So I'm sure when they receive indications that now the unions are serious about going on strike, that's when now they're inviting them for a meeting. Sometimes when you are living in a house with a child and there's no food at home, it depends on how you communicate to a child and tell them that these are hard times. So I think that you just have this gari and sugar. Normally we eat rice and chicken, but because of the situation, let's have gari and sugar. But when you're telling the child that you shouldn't be hiding inside the bedroom at night and you'll be eating fried rice and full chicken. Next time when you come out to tell the child that these are hard times and that the child should bear with you, but better days are going to come, the child is not going to listen. They will press on to make sure that they get what they want. That's the situation happening in Ghana now. Government comes to tell us that the economy is messed up. Now they've admitted, even the president has admitted that the economy is messed up and that a new leader is going to take us out of the mess. We can see from all indications as well with this haircut, this pensioners going to IMF, our inflation rate and all that, we can see that the economy is truly in a mess. But if you look at the lifestyle of the people in government, at the people at the helm of affairs, you cannot trust them. You would also push to get what you want, because at the end of the day, we're all driving on the same roads, we're all living in the same Ghana, we all go to the same market. So if you're telling me that the economy is tight, you should tighten your belt first for us to also understand. And I don't think Ghanaians are people who would not understand. If truly they can see that the leadership of this nation are telling us that we're in high times and they've tightened their belts, we are going to also bear with them and also tighten it, because together we build one nation. The government has come out severally, Minister of Finance, that even most of their big men and their appointees are going to stop using their V8s and Land Cruisers. Remember when he came to the Parliament, so that we cut down on fuel. They are going to cut down on certain things that they give to them. We see too many V8s in the system. One minister is moving with a motorcade, about 2 or 3 Land Cruisers that are in their convoy. So how do we as Ghanaians trust them? Then there's money there, but some people or selected few are getting the money. So the teachers would also push. And once these people have started, trust me, you can get the nurses joining. You can get my good friend, doctor, their medical association.
The KNUST doctors were on strike just last.
For a different purpose.
Yeah, you can get doctors.
But it's still almost the same.
No.
You can get doctors joining in.
If you've given them accommodation and you tell them they'll move out and you don't give them another place to go to, of course it's almost the same.
We will come there.
You can get doctors also joining in another unions
of service.
Yeah, it's still the conditions of service.
Other unions also joining in. All the conditions of service.
People come from my head.
All the conditions of services boils down to finance. So if you don't have the money, you cannot be able to do that for them. So I think that the government should call them. The government should talk to them. If they can meet them at least halfway, it will be of help to us, because when 2 elephants fight, it's the grander suffers.
Yeah.
When the teachers fight and the government is fighting, the people who are supposed to benefit from the services of the teachers, that's our kids, our younger brothers and sisters, they are going to suffer. And at the end of the day, the nation suffers at large. So I think that the government should call a spade a spade.
Okay.
They shouldn't polish it like my good brother tried to polish the history of the street lights this morning. Where there's truth, politics is about building a nation. It's about we sharing different ideas. Let's not do propaganda with some of these issues. When we call a spade and we tell Ghanaians the truth, sometimes they might believe you. But now most of you are building credibility issues.
Let me bring.
He said something. He said when 2 elephants fight, what?
The
ground surface. So we should try as much as possible to live under one umbrella. That is.
That's very good. That's very good. Lawyer, you're a wise man. We should all come under one umbrella.
Good morning once again, and good morning.
Good morning. I want to check. Continue. I'm just checking if I have some message.
A very good morning to His Excellency, the Vice President, Dr. Mahama, the next President of the Republic. Yesterday, he started his engagement. He met the Chamber of Commerce and the Ghana Bar Association. We hope that the negotiations and engagement duly continues and is able to touch base with everyone to explain his policies for the buy-in of Ghanaians. And clearly the hypocrisy here is the tree and bird story my brother sought to tell us. Sure. What is a bird? A bird is a form of an animal that lives on the tree. Therefore, a tree is. So clearly we are discussing teachers and how we can improve the conditions of our teachers. But the NDC cannot resist any temptation to rope in and start going on a free-range system, as I always say it, to start singing the song and the chorus they've rehearsed over the years, to bring in government and what people are doing, what people are not doing. If there is any commitment from government, we've seen government has reduced the extent of traveling by government officials in our various ministries and departments, which we can clearly attest to it. Government has reduced to about 30% the tune of salaries our government appointees were receiving. So indeed, there's been some commitment from government vis-a-vis tightening our belt and government showing the lead role in terms of protecting the purse and reducing the expenditure on the public coffers. So indeed, government has demonstrated some efforts and commitment to making sure that, yes, they play the exemplary role we expect of them to play. So you come and sit here today, talking about teachers, let's stoke the flames. Let's try to bring in certain things, do the propaganda on set for people to know that, yet others are living large and others are made to be poorer.
But some people not living large.
But unfortunately, that has been the norm in society, irrespective of how long you've been dedicated, irrespective of the certificate you have sometimes. Certain jobs will definitely pay more than certain professions. I'm a doctor today. Looking at the number of years I spent in school, a number of years I've spent as even a house officer to become a medical officer and onward. But you can compare my salary today and someone who just left university, and you can do the comparison for yourself. That sometimes, even though we expect certain professions and certain duration of certain professions in school, vis-a-vis what you studied and how long it took you, and the difficulty and the sensitivity, how essential your service is, you can't always have the salary structure being the same. There are people in certain places that will definitely earn more than I would earn.
It can be better than
but of course, but that notwithstanding, we need to always make sure that what is due people is giving them. Over the year, this is not the first time we are experiencing strike actions by organized labor. It doesn't mean we should continue. If it happened under the NDC or even under President Kufuor or under President Rawlings, doesn't mean we should continue seeing them. But I'm happy to understand certain areas. If you look at the Ghana Medical Association, until recently, over the past 7 to 8 years, I don't think we've experienced any industrial action by the Ghana Medical Association, for instance. Doesn't mean everything that doctors have asked for over the years has been given to them. It's a big no.
For the past 7 years?
Yes, doctors have not been on strike for the past 7 years. The only strike action we saw was around 2020 with the nurses and the nurse anesthetists who laid down their tools, also fighting for conditions of service. But doctors themselves, over the past 7 to 8 years, we've not seen any industrial action.
Okay.
And we can go back and do the comparison here and there. But of course, that's not the focus. The focus is about... The recent one is the threat, in quotes, to oust them from their place of residence to use the place for something different. So
but they were out.
The issue here is about making sure that, as my brother said, we meet organized labor halfway. Government explain its parts, and then organized labor also come to the table to explain their part to see a common ground that will better serve the interests of the country. Government over the years since we took over has at least shown some goodwill when it comes to our teachers' front. We remember the issue of teach for 3 years and let me pay you 3 months' salary. The issues of be employed for 12 to 24 months and then I revoke that employment letter and give you a new one to give you 4 months' salary instead of the 12 to 24 months you thought. We saw all these things under President Mahama and then his education minister and now running mate, Prof. Nana Opoku-Agyeman. Talk about the teacher training.
May I ask a question? Okay. May I ask Ezekiel?
Okay.
Aren't doctors leaving this country in droves?
Doctors,
nurses leaving this country.
Doctors
is
over
that
the years
worse than strikes?
The issue with the health workers' migration.
Conditions of service are bad for doctors. Conditions of service are bad for nurses.
Conditions of service.
We should look at it.
I perfectly agree with you. But conditions of service for health workers has never been the best for health workers. Since this government, since this government came to power, if you look at the rate of increment of salaries for doctors in particular over the years compared to 2017 till now, go and check how much the house officer was receiving in 2015, 2014, and how much the house officer is receiving today. The issue of COVID has opened up and exposed the health systems over the years. If you go and take the club, which is the UK, exactly. So I'm coming to explain to you. If you look at the club exams that's written by doctors to help them work in UK, for instance, the pass mark pre-COVID and the pass mark intra and post-COVID is different. Back then, you need to score around 160 out to 170 out of 200 questions. It's been reduced to the point of now, with 120 out of 200, you can get access to move on to the next stage. And it's across board.
Look, I don't see
it's across board. It's because once again, over the years and with COVID coming in, with the health systems exposed, the countries elsewhere have relaxed how much you needed to come and work in there.
So let me ask you this. How many doctors do we have saying that they are migrating from UK to come to Ghana to come and practice? How many doctors do you have that will tell you they are migrating from US to come and practice here? Because their conditions of service are good. But we have doctors here who are migrating because of conditions of service.
The doctors here definitely always migrate because of conditions of service and the facilities to work in. What I'm trying to tell you is that we see the numbers increasing today, not necessarily because government has done nothing about that condition of service. Looking at doctors, for example, aside the general increments, in public sector salary from the beginning of the year. Our condition of service are part of negotiation the GMA got with government. By middle of the year, another percentage is added to us based on a market premium and whatnot. But COVID has exposed the world health sector, including Ghana. That's what even pushed the president to say that, yes, it's about time we needed to sit up making sure that every district in the country has a hospital. The requirement to migrating from your country to practice in the areas, Americas and the Europes, where always there's been the tests and the desire to practice there has definitely come down. And you don't need that much effort migrating today to America or UK as you needed some years back.
If I'm clearly, I won't go.
You can be uncomfortable, but if the requirements are quite difficult for you to migrate, it will force your hand to
Anyway, let me read some
but it's not the same today.
Hi, Roselyn, you look good this morning. Before you start with the discussion, let me push this chair so that I can... before you start with the discussion, where is the NPP representative? They are always late for a show. Ezekiel. Kudos to the NPC representative for the sacrifice. Always on time and speaks for the truth. Service to the country. Aduma from Medina. Koresko Zakari says that he's in Sunyani. We said it, that Baumia and his entourage have no message. They are lying on Mahama, but could not do anything. But for Baumia, PDS scandal is reloading, awaiting for John Dramani Mahama to come and prosecute and the game-changing policy 24-hour economy, which is happening now in Abrochire. Most Ghanaians abroad never know digital, where proper digital emanates. Yet Manhunt 24 economy is operational. Mahama more peelful. Peelful? What's that?
Peel.
Yeah, hey, okay. You shall win 2024. Greetings, Regional Communications Officer Charles Akowa Nana Akantwa of Dreamfield Pharmacy. Good morning, madam. Everybody have power in his house. So what Speaker did is the right thing because everyone is talking about the law. Good morning to Honorable Eric Opoku from Abdul Razak David Youth Organizer. Good morning, Sister Roselyn. Common street lights, the government cannot fix it. What is happening in Ghana? If you are not skillful, you can't rule this country. Baumia can't rule Ghana. Baumia promised one laptop to one teacher. Only 10% of teachers receive the laptops. Baumia going around deceiving the good people of Ghana. Another watering promise, one laptop, one child. God will punish Ghana if Ghanaians vote for wicked NPP again. Nanado and Baumia are promoting, no, they are not promoting homosexuality. That one, they are not. Good morning, Roselyn. Speaker versus President. In fact, I'm happy the Speaker took the decision. God and Ghanaians are solidly behind him. The President said Ghana beyond aid, yet he is afraid to sign the anti-gay bill. This will also make the construction of the cathedral meaningless. Solomon Katamaso. Hey, people are for the Speaker this morning, Pao. Good morning, Madam Amidrisu from Yendi. The action of Speaker of Parliament are recommended and accepted by the majority of we Ghanaians. Imagine the NPP party with their own Speaker. Good morning, Madam, and to your guests. Madam, the unions are simply going to waste their time and energy. Our president has promised not to listen to anybody again. After all, he doesn't need our votes again. Madam, bravo to the Speaker of Parliament. In fact, currently he is the man of the match. But he should take his security serious as well as what he eats and drink. My regards to incoming MP for Myon, Alhaji Misbah. Please, Madam, I am still reminding you about my plea. Don't worry at all. We'll try and get him. Sumani Hamza. Good morning, Joy Prime. After reading what the Speaker of Parliament put out yesterday, I fully support him. This president thinks that Ghana belongs to him and his family alone. I urge Parliament not to approve the ministers because Akufo-Addo is becoming arrogant. He thinks he's more important than the rest of us. We are not going to make any mistake by voting for this insensitive government again. Okay. Good morning, Roselyn. You see, when the NPP rep, they lie on the issue of street light being worked on this area to your station, then boom, your station freezes. We froze, eh? Hey, he even sent a picture. Okay, Honorable Akisu, Mr. Shubekwa. Beautiful Roselyn, I like your smile. Rough. Good morning to you. Thank you so much. Teachers are suffering. Why government deduct their monies without giving them the laptop since 2021 November? It's been almost 7 years now since they changed the curriculum, yet teachers and students don't have textbooks. This is a country which has unstable electricity power, schools and the streets food shortages in second cycle schools, no textbooks, poorly equipped laboratory in second cycle schools, lack of infrastructure in schools. Hey, NPP now, wow, regards to Madam Vera inside BBNE Government Hospital. Roselyn, good morning. I hope your guests are all doing well. Please, what is Baumia saying? Tax amnesty in 2025? Yes, please. That's what he said. Baumia should get serious and stop his jokes. What's preventing him from implementing these policies? This is... Okay, it's not an admission that they have messed this economy. If this was how they met the economy in 2017, would they have implemented the free education? Baumia should stop the joke and be serious. We aren't ready for his jokes anymore. Collective agreement will always have to be renegotiated when they expire. That of teachers lasts for 3 years, so there will always be that back and forth between worker unions and government. The Ministry of Education should just be proactive, not always allowed to get the stage of strike. Good morning. I agree. I really agree. You know, with that one in particular opinion, can't we have a policy that, okay, if it's going to expire in 3 years, then what do? Let's do it before the 3 years, you know.
Will they?
Have a policy. Okay, in the next 3 years it's going to expire.
Because government at any given time does not know how much money it has. And if government doesn't look at the expenditure and they overspend, how can they take care of some of these things? But some of these things are very important.
Good morning, Roselyn. In fact, the Ghanaian teacher has seen a lot of injustice under this government. We've been beaten every day. This government under Opoku Prempeh deducts a teacher's salaries to provide us laptops. Now, not all teachers have received their laptops, yet the same people are promising laptops to SHS students. Some teachers' salary have been blocked for no reason, best known to our leaders by the special prosecutor till date. Is it good? Please tell the NPP man stop throwing sand into the eyes of Ghanaians. Doctors in Kumasi went on strike for the accommodation challenges. We, the teachers, are doing same for our laptops and colleagues. The teacher's reward is no more in heaven. It is here on earth. Just like that of politician is here on earth. Master Raman, Tuna, Savannah. Okay.
But Rosa, what type of laptops are they giving them? Go and look at the type of laptops they are giving them.
And they are taking the money. The thing is, they are even...
Huh?
Okay, good morning, Madam Host. Please, as the train arrive, we are in March. Ask the NPP guy because they are in power still calling COVID NPP versus Lagos. The trains, when are we starting? Roselyn, tell the NPP guy to be quiet. Living large starts with the health system, where doctors always get to be posted, earn more than nurses. This government wants us to wallow in poverty, making life difficult, especially for nurses. He's just saying what he doesn't know. Roselyn, as a doctor, how much salary he earns in a month and compare that to nurses? Okay, I'll read just this one.
That's really a mistake.
Good morning, Roselyn. These are teacher union leaders. They always declare strike at the wrong time. Do they know some of us are on vacation? Why don't they wait when it is 2 weeks to us? Sarah, we are wicked. I'll read this and then I'll take a break and then I'll come and read the rest later. This one says, we talking of doctor striking or teacher striking. Good morning. Come to Damongo and see how the MP sharing money around. BB. Hey, really? Your MPs are sharing money. So we'll come back and read these ones. But let's go into our Speaker of Parliament and what our Speaker of Parliament is saying. Now, we know that the President has actually nominated some deputy ministers, and the Speaker of Parliament has to assent his signature on the bill so that they can actually, Parliament, and they can actually be approved. But he says that some person, that is Honorable Dafia Mokpo, I hope I got his name right, has taken it to court. And so because of this, he will not append his signature on the bill until the case is fully dealt with in court. And he cited an example of where the President did say that some person had taken the anti-LGBTQ plus bill to court. And hence we should wait till court is done with the issue before he append his signature on it. And so it looks like two can play that game here. But Openyi, okay, no, I think Openyi has spoken a bit. Let me come to Ezekiel. I'll start this with you.
Quite a sad day for our democracy.
Why is it sad?
And the parliament we all hold in high esteem. Clearly, the reason for adjourning yesterday's sitting, the legal expression used there, it's sunny die, How do you explain it to us, Rojo? Mettle?
Indefinitely.
Indefinitely. So, Honorable Speaker's reason, someone files a suit at the court restraining Speaker and Parliament or seeking interpretation as to why ministers who are reshuffled from one ministry to the other should not be vetted before assuming the position of their new ministry. How is that a problem for those who were, for example, information minister designate, deputy minister, now information minister, who has gone to Parliament and had been vetted? Honorable Dr. Okoboy from NHI, now the Minister of Health designate. He's gone through the vetting processes, waiting for approval from Parliament. Then someone files a suit, completely unrelated issue, yet the Speaker of Parliament sits down and interprets it as an injunction preventing him from what? Approving those who have already been vetted. Come on, if you look at the suit by the Honorable Lafia Mepo, and the reason the Speaker of Parliament is citing for his refusal to approve those ministers who have already been vetted, they are poles apart.
But
they don't meet anywhere. No. The suit was seeking interpretation from the court as to why Parliament should not vet or should vet ministers. For example, Honorable Kojo Ponkroma, who has moved from information to works and housing. Over the years, we do not see such people being vetted because, yes, we are told that they were vetted as ministers before they assumed their initial role. Now, they are going to another ministry, even though different designation, but the same ministerial position to an extent. So over the years, those people are not vetted as compared to those who are moved from non-ministers to ministers or deputy ministers to substantive ministers. So the Honorable Dafia Mepo's suit is clearly seeking interpretation from the court for the court to explain why those who are changed in terms of position. The reason cited by the Speaker of Parliament does not in any way correlate with what has been sent to court.
Okay.
I'm asking for reason why you being moved from hosting the morning show to hosting what Ezekiel Agyekum does should not go through Brenda and other people before your change is made or your change is made legalized. And then someone who is deputizing for you is now on your seat. And the processes are that the person needs to be taken through certain processes before the person comes to sit here. What is the correlation between the person who has been promoted from a deputy to your position and that of you exchanging positions with the CEDOA? Where do they meet? Where is the correlation? Based on which analysis?
They are just waiting for court to make a decision.
On what?
So if court says that, court gives answers, then they'll go ahead and sign, right?
Answers to what?
The questions that...
The ministers who are vetted are not those anyone is trying to seek clarification on in the court.
Okay.
So clearly, it's a power game. I'm the speaker. I can adjudicate in my chambers, call the shots, even though proper procedures or throw away cautions and whatever. You are the president. You've asked your secretary to send me a letter asking me to hold on with A, B, C, D because there's a suit against whatever you intend to do at the court. So clearly a power game. The Honorable, Right Honorable Speaker is clearly hurt by the statement from the President's office asking Parliament to hold on to the human rights and family value bill Parliament passed recently. And he just wants to show the President where power lies. But amongst things, amongst the things to be discussed yesterday, I've had the opportunity to see a few of some of the discussions they had agreed on, even before proceedings in Parliament started yesterday. Certain approval they needed for certain areas, including climate change fight, action, and whatnot. Everything was not discussed. They introduced the first item, which was the parliamentary approval for the ministers who have been vetted, and Speaker starts showing power. Yes, I'm the boss in my own court, and this is what I choose to do, to the dismay of even the minority in Parliament. Have you read the suit by the Honorable Dafia Mepo? And where in the suit does it seek to injunct Parliament from approving the deputy ministers who are now made ministers?
Okay.
Where in the suit does it injunct Parliament from approving Honorable Okoboy, who has moved from NHI to Ministry of Health?
Maybe today there will be that suit.
Parliament is reconvening when after Easter.
But maybe I mean maybe today we'll see another suit.
So Honorable Speaker,
but that's what happened.
Honorable Minister,
but that's what happened. We had the president preempt a possible suit.
So
when he released his statement, the suit hadn't gone.
So clearly, you agree with me that it's a power play.
No, I'm just saying that.
Because there hasn't been any issue before Parliament or the courts,
I use the word maybe because we have seen it.
So clearly, he's preempting what is going to happen.
It could be.
The reason why he didn't. Let's look at the effect of it.
What's the effect?
Those who are made ministers or are called to be ministers and are vetted, I'm sure they can't act in certain capacities because they don't have the final approval by Parliament for the president to properly swear them into office. So clearly, their daily activities and whatever they need to do in their respective ministries, they can't go to a certain extent because they don't have the final approval by Parliament and the swearing of government or the central government or the president. So before your preempted suit comes to you and the court interprets such suit to give you the green light or otherwise for you to go ahead, what happens to those ministries? And what happens to the activities of those persons? What happens to the various things we were supposed to discuss on yesterday? The climate change action they were supposed to discuss on to appropriate some monies to certain quarters to work on climate change. We are all complaining of the hot weather today. Even in Hamatan, it was raining. It shows the extent of damage we've done to society. And the president has been very vocal and very vociferous when it comes to the fight or the action on climate change. Yet we go to Parliament, and because of power play, we go to Parliament, and because someone's ego is hurt, the person decides to throw cautions to the wind and starts to act arbitrarily.
Okay. Let me ask Openyi Kwame Chantua if...
It's quite unfortunate it happened yesterday, and it really doesn't augur well for our democracy.
Okay.
Let's stick to our functions and let's work independently of each other. Let's not look at what someone is doing to inform us to go on.
But why can't that someone do what it will be democratic as well, where you have the citizens? I'll come back to you though, but I'm just asking where you have what the citizens are asking for being done, because in the morning you wake up and you hear, if you go ahead and you sign this bill, Ghana stands a chance of losing a certain amount of money that we are going to World Bank for.
I don't think the president has cited any financial replications to
let me land.
The bill needs to be taken and Parliament needs to wait before any action is taken.
That is not what I said, and so that's why I said let me land. I said we woke up in the morning.
You are calling on have not given such reason.
Let me talk. You let me talk. I'm not calling on anybody. I'm just saying that Ghanaians woke up in the morning and there was a message, actually it was in the afternoon, where there was a statement from the Ministry of Finance telling us that if that bill should be signed, we are awaiting a certain amount of money from the World Bank, and we stand a chance of losing it. We also stand a chance of seeing a cedi depreciation. Some hours later, we saw a statement from the president saying that, the international bodies are calling on him and all of that. He has heard them. He's not going to really hurt them. He also spoke about the fact that somebody had already approached the court, but that person actually approached the court 24 hours later. And also, he said that, he will sign the bill at the right time after the court proceedings are done. It looks like our democracy is being played with.
But the president has not cited any financial reasons as.
I never said he cited. You see, that's so I never said. That's why I said let me land, because I never said president cited. I said we woke up in the morning to see a statement, and this statement came from Ministry of Finance.
He is not a president.
But didn't they say that it's a burden on the consolidated fund?
He's not a president.
Isn't that on the financial side? Didn't they say that this LGBTQ plus bill is a burden on the consolidated fund? It was one of the things they said.
Openyi, do you think our leaders are actually playing with our democracy? Because one time you're hearing Speaker of Parliament say this, the next time you hear the President say this. And actually, if they both don't sign, it affects all of us.
NPP from Timikasa, when the shoe is on the other foot and they don't want, they know how to use words to talk. They know how to use words to talk. So the Speaker says he won't sign. It is his jurisdiction. It is in his jurisdiction. If that is what he feels, he should do. The President is mandated by the Constitution to do his work. Nobody can instruct the President from doing his work. Nobody. The Constitution is the highest law in the land. Nobody.
But
are you telling me, if the President goes on to do his work, and there's an interlocutory injunction in court, the Supreme Court can hold the President for contempt of court? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what we are saying? that he'll be held when he's doing his mandatory work according to 106. So do what you have to do. Tell us reasons why you won't sign. Because let me tell you, this is a bill. It's not an act. It's a bill. So far as we're concerned, it hasn't been put in as a law yet. It's just a bill. So far as we're concerned, we don't have an act where LGBTQ plus is. So you, the president, do your work. Stop playing chaskeling with the Constitution. Now, when you read this letter, when you read this letter, and I ask myself, my good friend Nana Bediu to Asante, he was my schoolmate in primary school. I was 2 years ahead of him in primary school. He's saying that, and the impression is that this letter is from the president. No, so? Let me read something to you. And I quote. He says, Honorable Chair, transmission of the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill 2024. It has come to the attention of this office, which is the office of the president, that while the president and other senior officials of the presidency were at Peduase for a cabinet retreat on Thursday, 14th March 2024, you attempted to submit the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill 2024, the bill to Jubilee House, for the president to signify his assent or otherwise to the bill, while the president was somewhere else.
So this is not coming from the president?
It's not coming from the president. And if it's not coming from the president, who is the secretary of the president to tell Parliament that in the circumstances you are kindly requested to cease and desist from transmitting the bill to the president until the matters before the Supreme Court are resolved? So the Supreme Court now determines how the president does his work. Is that what we're talking about? Let's go to 106. 106.8 says, when the president refuses to assent to a bill, he shall within 14 days after the refusal state in a memorandum to the speaker, state in a memorandum of the speaker, any specific provisions of the bill which in his opinion should be reconsidered by Parliament, including his recommendations for amendments, if any. So the president has the chance to tell Parliament, I don't agree to this bill. Rather, I want A, B, C, D, E, E, Y, X. Look at it and see how we can amend it. B, it says, inform the Speaker that he has referred the bill to the Council of State for consideration and comment under Article 90 of this Constitution.
And this should be within the 14 days. 14 days.
The president has the chance to say why he doesn't agree to the bill. Has he done that? He's pushed it onto what? The courts. But then, the courts, the Constitution might have a lacuna in terms of injunctions and the president, but I don't think anybody can injunct the president.
Really?
No, he's doing his work, especially according to his work. I said he's doing his work. His work is spelled out in the Constitution where bills are concerned. It's spelled out in the Constitution. Right. Act on it. Don't say because there's an injunction in the Supreme Court, there's an injunction in the court, you're not going to act on it. I don't see how that comes in. But did he not? With the I think it was Charlotte Osei's case.
Yeah.
Where the court ruled that the president cannot be injuncted in performing his duty. That case. Then you have the case of the Auditor General.
Auditor General.
What did the Supreme Court say? He went ahead. It wasn't the president's right to do what he did in terms of telling him to go on leave. What did the Supreme Court said? He said it was unconstitutional what he did. Then the e-levy. What did he do? He signed it although there was an injunction in court. So there are examples of him being able to sign. Nobody should tell me, he's now listened to the people, so this is what he's doing. He should go ahead and do his job. What surprises me about this bill is that the president goes to church. Does he? He's an Anglican. He goes to read church. And you're trying to tell me that the priests in the church, they cannot question the president, give a sermon on it.
We heard the Christian community actually speak about it.
Yes, they are dead against it. Can nobody go at the president and ask him, why aren't you signing this? Anybody, when he goes to church or in public, can't nobody go up to him?
Well,
Is it difficult?
Security won't permit
oh,
you to
please. Who put him there?
Yeah, but you know security won't permit you.
But look.
I remember seeing the president and I tried to take a picture and they stopped me.
Why?
So, yeah, I wasn't allowed to. Security
Why?
stopped me.
Why?
No reason.
Is he a special person in this country?
But I was stopped.
He is there to serve us, not us to serve him. But the president is making a fool of our constitution. The president is making a fool of our constitution. What the constitution says is what he should take. But he's not. He's acting as if, okay, I'm the one in power. I will do whatever I want. But it's wrong.
So is that why we're having the Speaker of Parliament?
Well, the Speaker of Parliament is in his jurisdiction. And he decided that, okay, me too, if that is what you think you can do, then me too, I can do. Look, listen, there is separation of powers, isn't there? Where the executive and the legislature, they have their own powers. Look, the president assenting to the bill is administrative. The president does not make bills, does not make laws. It's administrative. So that there is some JoJo there to show that the governance system has agreed to a bill. Because if the president doesn't sign and doesn't give his reasons, Parliament can still pass it, can't they?
Even with the injunction?
Yes. No, I mean, if the president doesn't sign and they feel that they need to pass it, they get two-thirds majority, they'll sign it.
But with the injunction, can they sign it?
With the injunction, why not?
They can still go ahead.
Look, has the court... I
don't understand this in law.
Wait. Yes. Has the court come out to say, Parliament, you cannot do your duty? Have we heard from the court at all? Has the Supreme Court said anything at all? So far as I know, the Supreme Court should act and say there is an injunction against this bill. Parliament, hold your horses. Executive, hold your horses till we decide. Has it happened? It could even take 2-3 years before Parliament looks at this, before the Supreme Court looks at it. If it's not in their line.
So then, my question here is, if Parliament can go ahead and pass it, if the President doesn't pass it after the 14 days,
yes,
why do we have to be wallowing in this whole conversation? Why can't we just have Parliament pass the bill after 14 days?
There's an administrative side that the Parliament should take. But the President hasn't done his duty by going through the law.
Okay.
This is what the president should do. He should take it. I don't like this. I don't want it. He should take it back to Parliament. And Parliament will decide, depending on the amendments that the president wants to happen in the bill. But the president can't just blankly say that because there's an integrity in Jan, I'm not going to do my work.
Or can you please help the layman out there who doesn't understand law? I'll come to you, Mettle, very soon. Just give me 1 minute, okay? I just want the layman to understand. So, since the president hasn't done the administrative aspect of it, does it mean that still Parliament cannot pass it after the 14 days?
Well, if it comes back to, it's come back to Parliament. Parliament can decide three-quarter majority to pass this thing if they get that majority.
Okay.
Because the president hasn't acted on what he's supposed to act. He's brought it back. He hasn't even looked at it. And if Parliament feels that, no, we need to push this in, they can push it with three-thirds majority.
After the 14 days.
The thing what I don't understand is that when they were voting on this, and they asked, is anybody in favor of this bill? What did we say? What did we hear? Everybody said yes. Is anybody against this bill?
Nobody said
anything. So why are the parliamentarians on the other side, the majority, now saying what they are saying? They should be the ones questioning the president.
Okay. Mettle Nunoo, let me bring you into this conversation again, back into the whole law thing. It looks like the Hank Parliament is actually making things us realize. I don't know if I should say it's making us understand the whole, governance very well, because initially we did not. We thought when this happens, that happens.
Because when the majority had the numbers.
Well, majority is majority, yes. We just pass it. But now with the Hank Parliament and seeing, opposition and being the Speaker of Parliament, it looks like everybody is letting us understand that this is my power, this is my authority, don't cross the line. And it looks like we, the citizens, are the ones who are going to suffer at the end of the day, right?
Roselyn, thank you. I don't think the citizens are going to suffer, because when you look at the rule of law, there's a good reason why we have the principle of separation of powers. You see, when you look at the historical background of how this principle developed, and you look at the early democracies, and the kind of things that we're doing, you would realize that the lawmaking power, the implementation power, and even the adjudicating power resided in one person. When you trace back to the England, okay, resided in the queen or the king at the time. So at a point in time, the ordinary people felt that they needed to have a say in the lawmaking process. That is why we got the House of Commons. So if you look at the House of Lords, most of the kings, chanceries, and elites within the United Kingdom, they made up the House of the Lords. But until recently, even the House of the Lords, where you have judges, senior judges in the House of Lords, they've moved them out of Parliament there, and then they've formed a Supreme Court for them. So clearly you see that even the English are drifting to the principle of having separation of powers, where Parliament does the duty of making laws, where the executive does the implementation, because it will be very dangerous for us to wield all those organs, the powers of those organs, into one particular person or one particular arm of government. What I see happening is that all these things happening is no matter how you submit truth, okay, it will come out. No matter how you hide pregnancy, it's definitely going to come out. We've maintained time and over again that the NPP and His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, are against the passing of the anti-LGBTQI bill. And when we say it, people think that it's just a normal politicking. But it's not politics. By their actions, you shall know them. By their actions, we are knowing them. One, the president, even before the case was sent to court, was saying that he was not going to assent to the bill because there's a court case. And at the time he was speaking, there was no case filed in court. It was the next day that the case was filed in court. So you could see that they try using legal processes to frustrate the passing of this bill. Now that has failed. The secretary to the president, the executive secretary to the president, writes to the clerk to Parliament, not even from the letter, the wording of the letter saying that the president on a retreat or something in Pediasi. So you can see that not even from the president, but he, on his authority, is writing on behalf of the president because he knows the mind of the president, writing to the clerk of Parliament to prevent them from transmitting the bill to...
Maybe he had a discussion with the president.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, reading the mind of the president.
No reading, maybe there was a conversation.
But he should have said it. He should have written this on behalf of the president. Yes. Should have stated.
I don't assume because it's not in the letter. So I'm saying reading the mind. But if he said on authority of the president, I don't know. But again, in administration, he could have written this letter without getting the consent of the president. I know that, but I'm just looking at the wording of the letter. What is the process of passing such bills in Parliament, the legislative process? Clearly, if you read article...
Sorry, did you say he could have written this letter without the consent of the president?
No, he could not have written this letter without the consent of the president. So again, you can know that the president is in the known of the letter. Now, the legislative process of passing the bills, Article 1067, 1068, clearly outlines the process of passing such bills. Not most importantly, you see, Parliament went through the winnowing process of this bill. You know, remember the bill was called back and they had to do some amendments and changes on the bill before it was finally passed. Parliament went through all those processes. Parliament have done their job, and when this is done, the clerk to Parliament is supposed to transmit the bill to the president based on the Constitution, Article 1067, because of time I'll not go into details. And the president must assent to the bill. Now, the reason why it goes to the president is that because we do not want to give all lawmaking powers completely to the hands of the legislature, sometimes when the bill is passed, it needs to go to the president for him to also look at it. Just like counsel said, then you would also review. If you have reasons why you think you're not going to assent, you write them and state them, and then maybe it gets back to Parliament. But it doesn't mean that even your reasons that you're going to give to Parliament is going to be...
they're going to take it.
Yeah, they are going to take it. It's not compulsory for Parliament to even take it. If the president does not assent to the bill, it goes to the Council of States, it will come back to Parliament. Whatever reasons you are giving that you are not going to assent to it...
No, but the president has to refer to the Council of State
if he doesn't sign it.
If he doesn't sign it.
He refers to the Council of State
for their advice.
if they also
brings it back to
Parliament.
So now that he hasn't done that, I just still want to know, can Parliament still go ahead and pass this bill?
Parliament can go ahead if you look at the processes.
Yeah,
but then I'm coming to the issue. Yeah, 2/3 of majority when it comes back to Parliament.
Yes.
That's why I mentioned earlier that even if the president writes his reasons for not assenting to the bill and it comes back to Parliament, it's not compulsory for Parliament to take it. Now, the issue of the injunction, the pendency of interlocutory injunction itself does not mean that the injunction has been granted. Okay. Now, listening to legal luminaries in the field, there are two schools of thought. Some school of thought feel that anytime there's an application for an injunction, that what the application seeks to injunct you on, and the other party proceeds to go ahead with it, which would also affect or prejudice the injunction, then that means that as soon as the injunction is applied, that means that you must halt whatever it is. Another school of thought amongst the legal fraternity are of the view that when there's an application for an injunction, it does not mean the grant of an injunction. Now let's look at
the court has to grant it.
Yeah, the court has to grant it.
Okay.
So one school of thought feel that when there's an application and what they are seeking to injunct you on, and you go ahead to do it, and it's going to affect the reliefs being sought, then you must halt the process. Another school of thought are of the view that mere application does not mean that it's a grant of injunction. Unless a competent court of jurisdiction grants the injunction, that will only be the time to halt you. There's been situations and instances, looking at precedents, where there's been application for injunctions on the president from doing certain things, and he went ahead to do it.
Yes.
Examples are issues of the e-levy issue. There was an application for injunction. The president went ahead and did it.
Domlevo took it to court, right?
Yes.
And he won.
Yes.
Yes.
And he won later, but the president had already removed him from office.
And
so
the Supreme Court said it was unconstitutional what the president did.
Yes. So looking at the school of thoughts that says that when there's an application of injunction does not merely mean that it's a grant of injunction and the person who is seeking to be injuncted can go ahead with it. The president has exhibited that already. Looking at the Electoral Commission and the NDC, when we were going to embark on the limited registration, we went to court to seek an injunction from the Electoral Commission from proceeding with the limited registration. What did the Electoral Commission tell us? The mere application of the injunction does not mean the grant of the injunction. And Supreme Court set a date for hearing of the injunction after the registration was done. So you see that those two schools of thoughts feed into this scenario. But let's look at precedent. What the president, he himself, has done with the issue of e-levy, with the Domlevo issue, Electoral Commission not heeding to the injunction and going ahead with the registration process. So what stops you? If you think that you are a strong Christian, if you believe that you share the minds and thoughts of Ghanaians, that this gayism and lesbianism and queer
anti-LGBTQ plus
things is going to affect our society. Ghana is a secular state. We have three main religions in Ghana: Christianity, Islamic, and traditional religion. All these three religions say they are against it. And just today, one of the countries, I'll check again, have even passed the anti-LGBTQ
they keep passing all the time.
bill. You get it? And you believe in the thoughts of Ghanaians, and you believe in protecting the sanity of our culture and our living and our future generations. Why don't you follow your own precedent and go ahead and assent to the bill?
Well,
so clearly you can see in concluding London, clearly you can see the current leader of the NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia Alaji, in the month of Ramadan, and all these things are happening. He's not even coming out to make a statement and advise the president. He's not telling us a stance on the LGBTQ Ghanaians. I can clearly tell you that the NPP, the Nado Bawumia administration, and even their parliamentarians, look at their stance today. After unanimous passing of the bill in Parliament, look at their stance today. The NPP is clearly behind.
Anyway, on that note, I want to read some comments, and I'll come and take everybody's comments on this one. Please project the comment for me.
This is specific. This particular situation is specific because there is responsibility in the Constitution that the president should do his work.
Roselyn,
it is specific.
It's quite.
Can I get the messages? I'll take everybody's comments and then we can go. Let me read some messages, please. See, the messages are so many. So please let me try and get some of them out of the way. Yesterday, I got my... Okay, now this is it. Okay, this one says, National Cathedral versus LGBTQ plus shows their dishonesty and hypocrisy attitudes they exhibit, shows they think about Ghana, but they don't think about Ghana but themselves. NPP never. Kwame Obuasi, okay. Madam Holt Akufo-Addo has met his Waterloo yesterday when the speaker meted out a guarded response to the president because Akufo-Addo is lawless, despotic and autocratic by showing gross opprobrium to Parliament. The diction of the letter written to Parliament and signed by Asante Bedrieto was an affront to Parliament. It has become a hallmark of Akufo-Addo to disrespect and emasculate all state institutions, and he will go down as the most incompetent and corrupt president in the history of Ghana. Kudos to the Speaker of Parliament for marching Akufo-Addo boot for boot, even though Mahama Gandhi said, "Eye for an eye leaves the society blind." Good morning, Madam Charles Echampo. Charles, you write good English. Oh, wow. Today you've taken me to the dictionaries. Good morning, Roselyn. Tell the NPP man that we are further up with, okay, we are fed up. We are fed up with the pathology, liar Baumia. He said Ghanaians were suffering in 2016 and we are worse off under him as the head of the EMT. We are not paying our debts yet. The exchange rate, inflation and interest rates are skyrocketing. A bag of cement in Tamale is now 110 Ghana cedis, which used to be 25 to 30 Ghana cedis. So that man is like a cancer in the Ghanaian economy. Here's his total rejection and their parliamentary candidate Al-Hassan Yakubu from Tamale. Good morning, Roselyn. Good morning, Roselyn. Tell the NPP panelists that I like him being a doctor, but I don't like him supported everything, because if he's conducting surgery, he will not like to do evil on his client. What will be taken away from him if he speak the truth? Ghana is not for NPP. And if this is how Kufuor, Mills and Mahama govern this country, will Nunoo come and continue? Nunoo is a wicked president and he shall remain in our minds as such. Are you sure he will remain in your minds as such? I don't know why Akufo-Addo is still in the office drinking tea. Why is the security watching him? This man should be arrested and put before court. Why are you putting him before court? What does it add? This one is a bit long. I'll read just a little bit of that. Good morning, Beauty. Trust you're doing great with the family. I'll continue to advocate for the young and Ghana at large to vote for Alan, just to set the pace for a new Ghana where new policies and ideologies from new parties will determine how we should go as a nation. Carefully look at the life of the teacher today, and yet the NDC and NPP in Parliament are advocating for new conditions of service. I'll come down here and I'll read it. Let's agree and make the right decision and put both NDC and NPP out and let Ghana work. Thank you, George Traito. George, please, as much as possible, try and keep your messages very short so we can read it. But we are grateful that you could write to us. Good morning to Mr. Jantua and the NDC man. Please, is the president serious at all? Kabila inside. Kabila, why are you asking this question, though? Good morning to my beautiful Roselyn. The normal practice has always been that leadership of the House, led by the majority leader, guides the chair in the conduct of business of the House. On this occasion, the leadership of the House had prior agreed on the number of businesses to be taken. That is tax waivers, the laying of papers, consideration of bills, an outstanding IDA facility, and approval of ministerial nominations. I'll come down here and read because we don't have that much time. But if the president, Akufo-Addo, likes it or not, he will sign the anti-LGBTQ plus bill in Inshallah. Ghanaians against same-sex marriage. Abdul Aziz Jibani, Joy TV, neighbor. Thank you for sending your message. Samboa Chasman Kese says, kindly tell the NDC propagandists that they can go around and do their mischievous taxes. Come in 2025, Dr. Baumia will win never again to NDC. Regards to Honorable Charles Echampo, the Deputy Minister of Communications and Digitalization, and MP for Asaman Kese and Frankie Siedu Bokoy, a.k.a. Kotozwa. The NPP, Dumso is back with vengeance, but we are being lied to by the NPP government. The president has failed. The NPP government and Baumia want to take Ghana to hell like Sodom and Gomorrah. Oh, we won't go to hell. Good morning, Rose. Thank God for the speaker we have now. Please, if you want to know the moves and the political strategies of my NPP government, watch Game of Thrones. Playing the Lannisters in the movie. Where are the senior citizens and fathers of the land? The royal gates in Ghana. Are there no men with balls to speak truth to the president in Ghana that we are watching on him rule as against our wills and aspirations as one people under God. They are selling state assets and ruling us with impunity. Everything in the Japa document is manifesting in broad daylight, and we are not showing anger to the president. Why? Ghanaians, wake up, oh, Nana Kwesi Odame and your name. I think that will be all with our messages today. I've done so well. I've managed to read all the messages, so I'll take.
So you don't want trouble.
Oh, let me see. I don't want trouble. I think we have some comments on Facebook. Let's see if we have some comments coming on Facebook. But let me, as I go on Facebook, I'll take Ezekiel. You want to say everybody's final?
Once again, Nunoo went on a propaganda spree, and I'm quite disappointed he didn't speak to the actions of the Speaker of Parliament and what the effects are on our democracy. The fact that we couldn't get ministers approved to continue the issues of governance. Nunoo is not concerned about that. The fact that tax waivers were not approved to enhance business operations in the country, Nunoo is totally unconcerned about that. The fact that the outstanding IDA facility and the bills for consideration were all not heard in Parliament yesterday, Nunoo totally unconcerned. And he went once again on a propaganda spree. If there is any political party at all in this country which has released any communique to state its stance on the LGBTQ plus issue, the New Patriotic Party, the party is on record to have stated that the party does not in any way accept such practices in our society. The president has met with the clergy and he's made his voice heard. He's told the Ghanaian people that, of course, should that bill be passed at all ever in this country, it is never going to be under his presidency. And you are calling on the vice president. We understand the obsession.
So why is he not signing?
We understand the obsession with the vice president.
Why is he not signing?
The fact that you feel you need to rope him in everything you people say. Yes. It's not a propaganda against him. But you cited very well that we are made up of 3 key religious fraternities in the country. And you mentioned the Islamic religion, which the vice president is esteemed Islam. So if you believe Islamic practices and those practicing Islam do not approve of LGBTQ+, and the vice president is staunch Islam, then clearly where lies your argument? But the sponsors of the bill, once again, let's go back to the sponsors of the bill.
Yeah. Sorry,
the sponsors.
So you have just a minute.
Had known NPP figures. At least we can mention the Honorable Ntim Fojo, the MP for Asin North, being part of the sponsors of the bill. And the bill, once again, in Parliament was passed unanimously, both sides of the House. So where lies MPP supporting what and then NDC supporting what? You clearly want to propaganda and fetch political capital out of it. The president had
your 1 minute is
and
up. I'm sorry, I have to go to open you, please. Ezekiel, your time is up. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. Your time is up. Thank you.
Has this president passed any private member's bill at all? Has he? Initially, did he not talk about this being a private member's bill and actually should have come from the executive? So he doesn't seem to have any intention of passing it. And he's talking with 2 sides of his mouth. One thing he's saying to others, the other thing he's saying to others. And he does not want to satisfy Ghanaians. He wants to satisfy those foreign countries because he called them. They met, didn't they? Has he spoken to Ghanaians on LGBTQ? Has a president come and said what he wants to say, the way he was talking to the foreign dignitaries? Has he said that to Ghanaians? Who voted him into power? Is the foreign dignitaries who voted in power? Is the Ghanaians voted in power?
But you have 1 minute.
Have we heard from him? So let him go ahead and play chess killing with our constitution. Very soon, he'll be gone. Anyway, he's a lame duck president. It's up to Vice President Bawumia to tell us what he feels about it. He can tell us what he feels about e-levy, can't he?
Yeah.
He should tell us what he feels about this. Yeah. And let's hear what he has to say.
All right, your time is up.
Thank you, Roselyn. You see, when
everybody had 2 minutes.
When the organs of government fight amongst each other, it does not bring cooperative governance. So I think that the president's letter from the executive secretary to Parliament was in bad taste. We must condemn it on certain terms. These are some of the effects that we get from such things. And in concluding, you see, I'm a strong Presbyterian, trained from Bethlehem Presbyterian Church. You don't just say, Epistle of James, letter, total, faith, and works. When you say things, work towards it. You don't just write a letter and then you do things contrary. Today in Ghana, we have no street lights. They are not working. Our street lights are not working. Traffic lights are spoiled. Potholes are turned into manholes all over the road. Doomsaw everywhere. no water, people using Kufuor gallons everywhere, and we are suffering. And the president, in addition, wants to bring a curse upon Ghanaians by allowing LGBTQ in the country. We Ghanaians, we Christians, Islamic religion, traditional religion, entire Ghana will make sure that this does not come into the society in Ghana.
All right. The president says he will sign once the court makes a decision. So with that, we can't say that.
We'll come up with another excuse.
Until then, we don't know any case that is coming on Ghana yet. There is no case coming on Ghana from the president. The president wishes Ghana well and will not want to see Ghana go down. Let's see some messages from Facebook, and then I can round up my conversation. Can I have the messages from Facebook, please?
He will sign. He will sign.
So he actually says he will sign. So let's see. Teachers have been taken for granted for far too long in this country. Being a teacher in Ghana is almost like a curse. In fact, many people or many persons are in the teaching profession today as a result of lack of alternative, and has no doubt that Ghana will run out of teachers in the near foreseeable future. The teacher also deserves the best of national cake. Daniel Akpaliok from Sandema. Art Lenzo says, you see the NPP guy talking, I saw him at Tantra Residential, and he was quietly yawning and very hungry, and he came to the television to deceive the nation. Time will tell. Somebody saw your way coming up. Honorable Letitia Puyo says, good morning, madam. Asuma Banda says, good morning to you, madam host, and your panel members. It always saddens my heart to hear people opting for NDC as an option other than the NPP. Is it not the same NDC which during their era couldn't pay teachers what to do them? Are they not the same party that cancelled teachers' training and nursing allowances? Thank God I myself is a beneficiary of I've lost it here. Hey. Also, this government took power. We have seen improvement in salaries and government workers, all like the previous government. And I want to say on authority that if Ghanaians mistake and bring back the incompetent NDC back to power, then there's going to be more unemployed graduates association because they have no capacity to employ and give better conditions of service. Thank you, Asuma Banda from Teachers.
There's a message there that said that you won't read a certain what you call that. I think they've taken it off.
Oh, please, can I have that message back? Please give it to me back. No, that's not it. I've read this one. Mark Afui says, Chairman, this your message won't be seen by the host. You don't waste your time. Which one was that? Oh, I just read it. Mark Afui, I have read this message that you actually commented on. So you see, I have read it. Okay. All right, so this one, Ayaba Zakaria says, Ghana Beyond Aid is afraid of losing aid. In fact, I'm a happy man this morning because from JHS to SHS, I have really witnessed separation of power. Feely. Well, that's true. This is my first time witnessing it too. So we are all happy.
Abuse of power. No, not separation of power. It's an abuse of power.
Who is abusing which power? No, so both are actually abusing power.
Both.
But you have to see the president doing it.
The president is doing so.
I think I've read this one already on WhatsApp. So we can move to the other one. I've read this one too. Daniel Akpaliok. I've read Daniel Akpaliok. I've read Art Lenzo is the one who saw Ezekiel yawning. All right. So thank you so much for watching Newsline segment this morning. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. Open Kwame Chantor represented the CPP. Dr. Ezekiel Agyekum represented the NPP. And Mettle Nunoo represented the NDC. My name is Roselyn Felli. Up next is What's Trending.